WandaVision is exciting for many reasons, but it's truly unique because it allows Marvel to use the oldest dramatic device for the first time. Want to hear more about it? Then keep watching. Hello, this is the Epicurean Stoic, and I've been really looking forward to WandaVision. The quirky vibe, the sitcom era jumping aesthetic, and the risk Marvel seems to have taken with this are definitely something to ponder and analyze, as many other channels have. But from the moment it was announced, I personally couldn't keep this one thought out of my head. This would be the first opportunity for tragic irony to be used in the contemporary mythology that is the superhero genre. Let me explain. You've probably heard of dramatic irony. Is when a character in a story says or does something without understanding its quote-unquote proper or full meaning, something that the audience knows. To keep the discussion within the MCU, in Captain America the Winter Soldier, Cap and Black Widow don't know that the Winter Soldier is actually Cap's best friend from the past, Bucky. So when they speak of the Winter Soldier as a ghost story, an assassin with credited kills in the last 50 years, that increases the mystery and nicely sets up the eventual reveal.
Bucky?
That's if you didn't know that the Winter Soldier is Bucky, of course. But if you had watched the second trailer, or if you were reading the comics, you had that piece of information, and so to you, that scene has dramatic irony. You see characters lack a crucial piece of knowledge, which you have, and this raises the tension, it makes you feel something. But the thing is, tragic irony is not just dramatic irony. Tragic irony has a stricter definition, and is much rarer, especially nowadays. It is defined as the use of words by a person of a play in such fashion that the speaker is aware only of an innocuous, superficial meaning, while the audience, through previous knowledge of what is to come, understands the words as fraught with doom that the speakers, especially the one using tragic irony, will personally experience before the play is concluded. We can immediately see that our previous example is not an instance of tragic irony, unless we think Steve finding out that his best friend is alive and finally turning him to the good side, well, kind of, is some form of doom. Now, instead of focusing on cases of tragic irony where the audience has prior knowledge that characters lack because of something that previously happened within the story, I want to focus on the original and most impressive use of tragic irony. In ancient Greek tragedies, the audience went to the theatre already knowing the myths of Prometheus, Antigone, and Oedipus. It was common knowledge back then. So what did the great playwrights do to keep their works engaging? They sometimes used alternative versions of established myths, as is the case for, let's say, Euripides' Helen. Side note, we will discuss this case in a later video. It's very intriguing, so subscribe to see it when it comes. Now, the other thing the playwrights did is use the knowledge that the audience had and throw them in a situation where the protagonist lacks that knowledge. Tragic irony. The most famous example is, of course, Oedipus Rex. The play doesn't start with a backstory. Everyone in the audience already knew that Oedipus killed his father and married his mother. This means that when leading the investigation for the killer of King Laius, whom Oedipus, his son, had killed, Oedipus' declaration that he will reveal what is hidden has precisely the double meaning that makes this play a tragic irony goldmine. Similarly, at an earlier point in the story, Oedipus says, "I am fighting as if for my own father," not knowing that he is in fact searching for his own father's killer. On top of that, he curses this killer, oblivious to the fact that he was cursing himself. To finish Berkeley's quote from before, tragic irony is possibly keenest when the speaker utters a curse which will ultimately boomerang. One inevitably thinks of Oedipus. But does this apply to the MCU? Well, sure, if someone had read the comics, they would know that the Winter Soldier is Bucky, but nobody would call this piece of information common knowledge. On the other hand, pretty much everyone and their cat has watched Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. It is very much common knowledge that Vision was killed when Thanos ripped the Mind Stone off his forehead and didn't come back after the blip in Endgame. So from the get-go, WandaVision was equipped with tragic irony, one of the most effective empathy and tension-building dramatic devices. And thankfully, they leaned heavily on it. We know that Vision is dead, and yet his name in the title was not just a TV pun. He was in all the trailers, building up interest in our minds, making us ask questions and want to watch the series to get answers. Then, when the actual series premiered, he was the recipient of the most tragically ironic statement in recent popular culture.
My husband and his indestructible head.
This indestructible head. In all seriousness though, by using tragic irony in these ways, the show keeps the tension high despite the story's low stakes with gags like the boss dinner or the magic show in the first 2 episodes, because we were waiting to see how Wanda would recognize what is truly happening, as in the Greeks called anagnorisis, the recognition scene. And in episode 4, we get it, sort of. We get our glimpse of a recognition scene, but with a twist. Wanda had a small contact with reality when Geraldine / Monica Rambeau mentioned that her brother Pietro was killed by Ultron. And now we know that Wanda is aware of the truth, but chooses to create this fake sitcom world and live in it, as a way to deal with the immense trauma of having to kill her loved one, only to watch him die so brutally right after, and never see him return post-blip. She even lets her guard down and for a second sees Vision as he is, a grey, lifeless husk with a gaping hole where the Mind Stone used to shine bright. So, by the halfway point, the show uses tragic irony and its natural conclusion, the recognition scene, but it doesn't provide the resolution that typically comes with it. Until it does, and let's hope it will, WandaVision has us coming back for more. It's very exciting to see such a modern 20th and 21st century superhero sitcom resurrect, as it were, the oldest tricks in the book, just like it resurrected Vision, at least in some sense. Let's wait to see what else they do with it, and where the series will go from here. But what do you think of WandaVision so far? Is the way Marvel uses tragic irony effective or not? Let me know in the comments, and if you like this video, press the like and the subscribe button below so that you don't miss the next one. Until then, seek virtue.